Welcome to Caleb's Basketball Pod. There's a lot to talk about in this episode, so I want to kick you off right now fast. I want to hot start here. So here we go. Jimmy Butler trade speculation. Right now, we're seeing a couple weeks ago, Shams Charania report that Jimmy Butler wants out of Miami. After that, a couple days later, Pat Riley would deny that. And now we're to the point where after the Miami Heat game yesterday, Jimmy Butler himself would pretty much say he wants out without saying it so he don't get fined. He would go on to say that he needs to be happy playing basketball again, wherever that may be. Again, indicating it's away from Miami. He said he's happy in Miami personally, but not on the court. And then when asked if he could be happy playing in Miami on the court, he said no. So Jimmy Butler is indicating he wants out. Exactly. He's just straight up pretty much saying it without saying it. So the fine don't follow. So that leads to first topic is, where does he go? Where do we see Jimmy Butler land? There's a lot of teams out in the market looking for him. A team I think he would fit very well in would be Golden State. Kendrick Perkins has said multiple times on NBA Today and Mo Trippin' Pod that he believes he will wind up in Phoenix, despite the fact that it would have to be like a 1-for-1 or a 2-for-2 trade, and Bradley Beal would have to waive his no-trade clause to go to Miami and let Jimmy Butler replace him in teaming up with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. So interesting situation there to keep up with. Me personally, you can kind of see the effort's not there with Jimmy Butler as of late in Miami. That's been very obvious to see. You also see them shifting towards making the team Tyler Herro's team. He has been the leading scorer in like the last 5 games for Miami. And he's up and down. He's always been like that. But you can see them moving away from the ball in Jimmy Butler's hands and moving towards the ball in Herro's hands. Last couple games Jimmy Butler's played, he's got up 5 and 6 shots. It's not saying much. I don't know if that's all on his effort or if that's for plays being called in Miami, but you just see an unhappy situation and you see an unhappy player and you hope it works out for the best. I seriously do believe Golden State would be a great spot for Jimmy Butler, but there's a lot of teams out there that you believe would kick the tires on the idea of adding Jimmy Butler to their roster, feeling that it could help put them over the edge to compete for an NBA championship. So it'll be interesting to see where he lands. I'm going to be honest, I think the Suns will get better if they're able to make the Butler for Bill trade. I still don't think that a championship threat in the Western Conference. So even at that point, I don't really see them doing a lot with that. But you have to try something because they have no salary cap. They can only improve their roster through trades, but these trades have to be like, as I mentioned before, 1-for-1, 2-for-2. So either way, they still have to improve their roster that way if they have any shot, or you just break it all down and rebuild, which, to be honest, I would build towards breaking it down and rebuilding if I'm the Suns. I just don't see this team competing, and I also see why you have guys like Booker, Durant in their prime. Unfortunately, I think Bradley Beal is past his prime at this point, but why you have Durant and Booker in their prime, I think trade them off for picks before you wind up having them walk for nothing. But again, that's just me. I just don't see them having a good enough team to compete in Western Conference, and I also don't really see the style they play. It looks like a lot of just one-on-one ISO ball. It's not the team game over in Phoenix. Again, this is just what I'm seeing when I'm watching it. It's not a lot of ball movement. There's a your turn, my turn kind of theme that don't win in the NBA anymore. Teams are too talented for a your turn, my turn thing anymore in the NBA. That's not winning basketball now. Winning basketball, as much as people may like it or not, is a lot of the pass, the kick, the drive kick, pass, move the ball around and get good looks and hit threes. And as of right now, that's winning basketball, and that's the teams that are winning. You see Boston shoots more threes than anyone. They won a championship last season. They're number 3 in the NBA currently right now. You see Cleveland has taken a lot of three-pointers. They're number 1 in the NBA currently right now. So right now, 3-pointers is what's winning, not iso ball, and that's what I'm seeing from Phoenix. Shifting gears, this is another big topic I want to talk about. Tonight we see the 13 win streak of Oklahoma, which is the most wins straight they've had since becoming Oklahoma in their franchise history, not including Supersonics history. Head into New York to take on the 9-game winning streak New York Knicks. Now this game's interesting. You have 2 streaks going. Knicks looking push theirs to 10, Thunder looking push theirs to 14. Here's the thing though. Unfortunately, as we know, Chet Holmgren's not going to play. He hasn't been playing. He's going to be out probably till mid to late January. So we still have a bit before he returns. But you look on the other side, and Miles McBride and Jalen Brunson's both questionable for tonight. So we hope at least we get them to play in. But again, as I mentioned, Chet Holmgren's not playing. These teams are in the midst of these win streaks, so it's still going to be a very good competitive game. But you hope to see Brunson play, or the Warriors, the Thunder may run away with it. Thunder's just playing really good basketball right now. The defense has been pretty high up. Recently, it's dropped a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but still a really good defense that they're playing. New York Knicks offense has been unstoppable recently, so it'll be interesting to see each side of it, as the Thunder has that fiery defense where they compete and they defend 1 through 5, and then the Knicks are dead knocking down shots. They're averaging nearly 130 a game. Karl Anthony Towns has been playing, I believe, the best ball of his career. So it'll be interesting. And also one-on-one wise, I really don't believe the Thunder has anyone that can guard Karl Anthony Towns one-on-one. Just because if Isaiah Hartenstein guards him one-on-one, you take him away from the basket, which leaves the rim open for teammates. So I don't believe you're going to put Hartenstein on Towns, because Towns takes a lot of threes, and that would stretch Hartenstein away from the hoop. So I believe you're probably going to put a 4, which would be really undersized, on Towns, and at that point he's not going to be able to defend Towns well. And again, like I said, it's the chess game, because now if you put Hartenstein on him, how many threes Towns shoots and makes, you're drawing Hartenstein away from the basket, which is a big strength of that Oklahoma defense, is Hartenstein staying near the basket and getting those rejections. So it'll be interesting to see the chess matchup that we have tonight, and it's going to be one heck of a game. Tune in on NBA TV at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to watch this go down. It's going to be one of the best early games of the season, I believe. 2 teams, like I said, competing at a high level right now, and I think this is going to be a game to watch for the night. As for looking around elsewhere in the NBA, we saw the Lakers win last night. LeBron James had a really good game. Anthony Davis missed. Lakers are playing good basketball. They lost the other night against Cleveland, but Cleveland's #1 team in the NBA. So the fact that it was even a closer game, you are seeing a different style for the Lakers. You're seeing a lot better ball movement. You're seeing more defense, because they were struggling on defense for a while. You're seeing them play a little bit more defense, but you're also seeing more ball movement, more shooting, more scoring from that Lakers team. LeBron had a great game last night. Steph Curry also had an amazing game against the Philadelphia 76ers, where he went 8 for 8 on 3-point range. Mind you, that's super impressive. Hard to do at any point, to go 8 for 8 on threes anywhere, let alone in the NBA. And the Sixers, I've said this before, and I've said this a lot. I just need to figure it out. Even when healthy, and they're getting healthier, and Maxey and George and Embiid's playing together a little bit more often, they're starting to win. But still, when they've lost good, really good teams, most of the time they're coming up short. Like just the fact that you really did compete in Golden State, and Golden State's been up and down in recent weeks. That's a little worrisome to me, and your defense was horrendous, giving up 130 some, and not even making Steph miss 1 3. And I'm not saying that's easy to do, but you have to defend, you have to contest, you have to make him take more difficult threes and shots, because if you're just giving him threes, he's going to knock those down every time. That's just shoot around for him. So defense needs to be a little bit more aggressive, and they need to get used to playing with one another. And I think they'll really blossom as a team. But I still, my thing would be, it's a 3-team race in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, and that's Boston, Cleveland, New York, and possibly Orlando. Possibly the Magic when they start getting healthier. We know they will have Mo Wagner, but they should get Franz Wagner back at some point in the season, and it's rumored that Paolo's like a week or two from returning. So when they get healthy, it could be a 4-team race in the Eastern Conference. But Sixers and Bucks are really underperforming in my estimation. I wasn't really sure where they would be. I mentioned this on a pod or two ago where I said the Pacers, don't want to say they were fluke making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but a lot of injuries impacted that, and you're really seeing that, and they are really up and down and inconsistent basketball team. The Hawks in the Eastern Conference have surprised me. They are playing pretty good basketball, 18-15, winning record, which is really nice to see. And there's not that talk of Trae Young being traded like there was before the season and at the start of the season. And rightfully so. He's playing really good basketball and should be an all-star, in my opinion, an Eastern Conference all-star. Speaking of all-stars, before we get out here, we're going to mention all-star voting. Go out and vote, because there's a lot of really, really good basketball players in the league, but votes are such a popularity contest. And fact that LaMelo Ball, and I'm not saying he's not really, really good and he doesn't deserve to be an all-star, but not voted in as an Eastern Conference starter. And that's not because he's not a starter level, it's because his team's just not good, really, really not good, and it just shows he has no impact on winning a basketball game. Because if you're as good as what people are voting for him to be, Eastern Conference leading voter, guard-wise, then your team should be winning in at least around the play-in instead of around the bottom of the league in general. So, not saying, again, he should be, good chance he could be an all-star. He should not be an all-star starter, because that should go to the stars of the teams that are really, really good and just really showing out and making their team better. And as in making their team better, their team's winning and their team has a shot to compete for a higher playoff spot or championship. And again, that's not a slight to LaMelo, super talented player, one of my faves to watch. I just believe an all-star starter should go to someone that's really impacting winning, as well as putting up numbers, as well as playing more, because LaMelo's missed a week or two, couple weeks of action this season. And I just think it would be better suited to go to, like, say, Dame Lillard and Donovan Mitchell, or Jalen Brunson, Darius Garland, guys like that. Tyrese Maxey even, I think he's played amazing for the Sixers, and the Sixers really have a shot to make the playoffs and maybe get past a round or two, as compared to the Hornets that probably won't even have a shot to make the playoffs. Even Trae Young, again, they're in the playoff mix, they're in the Eastern Conference. But that's just my opinion. But like I said, it's interesting to see where the voting goes. But just get out and vote for people that really deserve it, if they're for your team or not. I mean, it's fun to vote your guys into the All-Star game. But if you remember, a few years ago, we had Andrew Wiggins as an NBA All-Star starter on a season where he was averaging like 17, 18 points a game. He was not a Western Conference All-Star starter, but he got votes, and he's getting even a lot of votes this year, more than guys that deserve it, just because apparently he has a big fan base. And I'm just saying, like, just get out and vote and send the right players to the All-Star game. That's all I'm saying. But have fun watching this NBA season. Like I said, super competitive season. We're getting into the thick of things now, and I'm loving just how competitive this league is. And hopefully, speaking of All-Star, with the changes that we spoke on a few weeks ago, hopefully the All-Star game's competitive and fun to watch again. Because if not, voting, this or that, it's all for nothing. If it gets to the point where it's just like it's been the last few years. So stay tuned. We'll keep watching, and I'll see you Monday.